How's it going, guys? Oddly Unorthodox here. This time we're going to hit you with my favourite strategy, which will win you games once you get used to it. But also, I will say this, do not play this against your friends if you want to keep your friends. It is not a particularly friendly build. I've got videos upon videos of it on my channel. I've got it in domination games, I've got it in land battle games, I've got it in free-for-all games. It's a very nasty strategy. So I will pause it here so I can sort of explain, because I want this video to explain more the tactics behind the Wood Elves. So the Wood Elves, in my opinion, have a bit of a niche fitting in this game. They're not as strong as some of the other factions. I don't think their roster just packs as much. But builds that centre around Way Watchers, you cannot go wrong with. So first things first. Oh, I'm just jumping ahead of the gun. Let me tell you what I've brought. I've brought 4 squads of Wild Riders. And then 3 squads of Glade Guard, Orion, double normal Way Watcher, Regents of the Renowned Way Watcher, the Eyes of Jakira. This whole strategy is based around catching one opponent off guard. It works extremely well in free-for-alls because free-for-all is kill point based, you could say. The more damage you deal is how you win. As you see, I am not the last person to survive in this game in the slightest, but my damage is way above everyone else's. And the reason I say this is not a way to keep friends is purely because one person's going to hate you at the start of the game because they're going to get absolutely rushed. Now, this vampire count player, normally you pick the player which, in your opinion, is going to be the best one to rush. Now, this is not a build I expected. You can see it's literally Depth Guard all the way through, Lamprey's Revenge, Vampire Fleet, Luther Harken, Gunnery Mobs right at the front. I was expecting more of a wide artillery build, which I'd have been able to run, you know, round in circles. I probably could have done this to the Empire player quite effectively as well. Even the Ogre player, with them just not having enough to really shut me down. So, to give you the gist of what the idea is, all of this line, I can't use the pen in this function, can I? No, all the cavalry, and even Orion to the point, is a buffer for your Way Stalkers. Your Way Stalkers will carry you through the game. So you can watch what I mean here. The first thing I do is send the cavalry up. The cavalry is not going to have a fun time versus Depth Guard and stuff like that. But all they are is buying me time. You know, you can see the first volleys coming in from the Way Watchers. And then straight away, we want to pick a target which is ideal for killing. So I decide I'm going to do some damage to Luther. He is sitting there minding his own business a little bit too much, taking shots. So I thought I'd throw javelins in his face from Orion, and then also shoot him down with the Way Watchers, and just make some money's worth. You can see already that the value is not 100% in my favour, but I've got all this ammo, and now they're held there, and in a minute you'll see the value truly start to climb. So my cavalry gets absolutely decimated, so the cavalry definitely could have been used better. But now I can start picking apart squads. You know, those Depth Guard straight away, demolished. These Depth Guard that are going to run up and try to attack me. So because they don't have the ability to remove my Way Watchers because of how much is in their face and they're having to deal with, I now can just pick apart each individual part of their army. You know, these Depth Guard are going to walk up, the Blood Reaver, send Orion in there, send the cavalry in there, start peppering them with the Way Watchers. You know, you can see how much they're losing. You can see Luther Harken, you know, lost quite a bit of HP. Now he's going to try and send more units in to try and deal with my Way Watchers. He's getting the gist that he needs to stop the Way Watchers. The Way Watchers are just demolishing everything. But cavalry keeps coming back and buying me time. You know, we send Orion in to deal with the fleet captain, because obviously the fleet captain is now trying to come for my Way Watchers. So we do what I told you on my last Wood Elf video. Split your squads up. Make sure they're not all stood together, because one vampire fleet captain can't shut down 3 squads. You know, here you can see that now my value is climbing. I've got rid of the fleet captain. Orion's dealt with that. The depth guard are about to go down as well. Luther Harkin's been dealt with. And we've completely dismantled one player out the game. And now we can start looking for ripe targets elsewhere. You know, we know he's dealt with. The fleet captain's dealt with. And we've got Ogre Balls coming into us now. Ogre Balls are kind of speedy, but not really fast enough. We send Orion in and some cavalry in to tie them down. They've not got great leadership, so we shoot them before they can get close. Now you can see the only person that was close to me is the actual Vampire Coast player, and he's got nothing left. We drop. That's another reason why we bring the Hawkeyes of Chakira. Such a good ability. Dropping the smoke bomb to slow them down. That's these Ogre Balls dealt with. Now we're shooting the Mornfang Cavalry. You know, I know they're broken the edge of the maps here, so there's no way they've really come back to bite me. But now you can see we start taking shots at the Mornfang Cavalry. Yes, they've caught one squad away watchers, but that's not going to do them the world of good. You can see that right now the Vampire Coast player's out. He's got 8k, I'm at 10k. The next guy is the Ogre player at 4,000. The actual Empire player just isn't going to be able to get enough points to come back. So we deal with the Mornfang Cavalry, we shoot the Saber-Tusk before they come in to break them off. It's important as well that you do realise that the Hawkeyes of Chakira have the discouraged effect when they shoot units, which is great because it just makes units run off quicker. Bit of a weird Ogre build. He just took 2 of each artillery by the looks of it, and Scrag. But now what's my Orion doing? Oh, he's taking out these guys. You know, right at this point, 1,500 value, got a lot of ammunition left, and he's still got his items not popped either. So now we start shooting Scrag. Scrag's also being destroyed by the Luminart, which is quite funny. But at this point, even the Ogre player is going to really struggle to catch up to me. Maybe if he wiped out the entire Empire army by himself, but he's just not got enough left in the tank to deal with that. And the Empire player can wipe out both of us, but he's just not going to be able to generate enough value. We pop down a few of Orion's little abilities here and there, just at this point, you're just trying to scrape a few points with what forces you've got left. We send Orion up into this fight, and then we turn these guys on to Toddy. Toddy can regen, but like I said, we're just scraping points together now where we can get them. We're running very low on ammo, so in all fairness, there's not a massive amount we can do, but I think we've secured a good enough value to win. Orion at the moment is quite difficult to deal with, but as soon as he drops below 25% HP and he gets the Cloak of Isha, he becomes a whole different kettle of fish to try and deal with. I do like this Ogre build though. I like the Iron Blasters, I might have to give them a go. So you can see, at this point, Orion is doing what I need him to. And he's getting me more score. You know, he's already up there now to nearly 2,000 value. You know, he's still got 405 weapon strength. He's not weak in the slightest. And then in a minute, he's going to pop his ability at minus 25% HP. And he becomes a huge problem. As you can see, Boris will be able to run these squads down. But we're doing what I need. You know, we've popped a few shots into him. Out of ammunition on that squad. That squad's about to run out. These guys run back. There you go. You can see Orion's now starting to become a bit of a problem. He just can't be dealt with. It's close. Yeah, it's popped now. So as you can see, he gets 20% damage distance, and he just constantly heals. You can see his healing going up, which is more than they're doing to him. So we decide we want to deal with Scrag. Pretty sure we popped the wolves here just for no reason, really, because I'm not going to get much of a use to kill them. But you can see here that Orion's already near 3,000 value. And then do we get the kill with a spear? I think we do. You ready? Straight in his back. Put Scrag down. Definitely my favourite legendary lord. He is a monster to deal with. Very fun to play. and just very, very fun. I can't recommend enough that Wood Elf players try them. A lot of Wood Elf players that I see play use the Glade Lord, obviously for the snares and stuff like that. But Orion, he is a beast. A big thing that I like to think about when I'm making this Wood Elf army is, one, make sure all your units have Vanguard deployment, because you don't want to be miles away from your opponent. Because if they've got artillery and stuff like that, they're just going to pepper you. Whereas if you've got Vanguard deployment, it's quite neat. You know, you can get right behind them, cause a few problems. I'm just using Orion's foot to farm more points here, but you can see, you know, 13,000 damage dealt, 3,000 on the Empire, 7,000 on the Ogre player, 8,000 on the Vampire Coast player. I've just won the game. We can fast forward, because all I do here is I get some Stalkers back and I use them to just be a little bit annoying, if I'm honest. Do a little bit of damage to the Jade Wizard, scraping those points. But at this point, it's well and truly lost, so I send Orion out in melee once he's used up all of his ammunition, because he's pretty done. And this game's pretty much over. But that is a game there to show you the strategy of the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are not strong, in my opinion, in a straight up fight. You have to use a little bit of trickery. You're very squishy, but you really need to use that ranged mobility advantage. So let's have a look here. I only got 140 kills compared to everyone else taking out the chaff, but those 140 kills were on high priority targets. So we've got 3,100 value basically on Orion, more than paid for himself. 3,000 on the Hawkeyes, 3,000 on them, 2,500 on these guys. And then you see it makes up for the fact that Wild Riders didn't do as much, but the Wild Riders bought me enough time to allow the rest of my army to catch up. Whereas obviously these guys just couldn't deal enough damage to get anywhere near my value. It's been oddly unorthodox. If you want me to do more of these tactic videos, especially races that I play, you know, leave me comments, leave me suggestions. Please just do keep in mind that obviously if you're suggesting a race that I have not played much of, it will take me a few days to get it out, because I need to spend a few games on them just to get a gist of how I enjoy them, how I would like to play them. And sometimes I will release a tactic video that you guys might not agree with, because at the end of the day I might not enjoy the traditional playstyle of that race. I might play them a little bit different to suit how I enjoy playing. But I appreciate all you guys, you know, watching, liking, commenting. It's been oddly unorthodox. I'll catch you on the next one, guys.